is with if drawn with replacement, the random variable follows a binomial distribution. Otherwise, it follows a hypergeometric distribution. So hypergeometric distribution calculates the statistical significance of k successes out of n draws without replacement. Okay, suppose that this is used, this kind of hypergeometric distribution is used in analyzing marketing techniques for a marketing group. If they want to test the understand their customer base by testing a set of known customers for overrepresentation for various demographic subgroups and all those stuff, hypergeometric distribution is of much use. I have, to my best knowledge, I don't know where in econometrics it is used. So even though I have notes, I'll send you the notes. Just read it for your interest. No questions will be asked on hypergeometric distribution. Okay, so let's go to the subject matter where I'm going to start today's lectures. The first thing, very important thing. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
So I have a doubt from yesterday's class. So can I ask?
What is that?
So I have a doubt. So I have a doubt from yesterday's class. I wanted to ask you. So in the space of a random variable, so is that the domain of the random variable? Is the sample space, or it is the range of the random variable? The space is that you said that you mentioned in the last day's lecture. It's the space or the support. I think it was written in the slide.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So is it the range of the? So yes, sir. That is support of the space random variable. Is it the domain of the random variable function, like the domain, like the sample spaces, or is it the range?
Sample space. Sample space. Sample space. The sample space is okay. The sample space. Okay. So we had also talked about the possibility, in the rare possibility, when S and the sample space of X will be equal to the sample space of X in the special context where both contain real numbers. Like, for example, I had taken the example of a die, 6-faced die or 4-faced die. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, can you see the PPTs? You can. I'm starting with mathematical expectations.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. Now,
yes,
why this mathematical expectations? Why are we? I'm slowly interested, slowly into econometric statistics per se. When you have a data, the data has a distribution. It must have come from a distribution. Which distribution it has come from, we have no idea. Okay, so don't think that normal distribution is where the data has come from. It is a convenient assumption. Okay, why that convenient assumption? That is based on a very important theorem, which we will see later. It is called the CLT, or the central limit theorem. Okay, what is it? Let the data be from any distribution with a mean and variance. We can show as a sample size increases, it will go towards normal distribution. So this is a basis of central limit theorem, is the heart of statistics and all the statistical inference, everything. Okay, so we do not know the distribution. We assume, for example, to be a normal distribution. In some areas, normal distribution will not work even as an approximation. What is that area? Finance, financial returns, stock returns. It is well known that stock returns do not follow a normal distribution. So there are areas in financial econometrics where you cannot talk about normal distribution because certain variables cannot take negative values. So all these areas, all these problems are things. So you have to understand that normal distribution is just an assumption. But then it is quite interesting. I want to know the entire feature of distribution. Most of the time it is not possible. And what are we interested in? We are interested in some features of the distribution, or what we going to call next as some moments of the distribution. Okay, what is the first thing that we are interested in? I'm sorry, I used the word moment a bit early, but we are going to see that later. Okay, so the first thing that we are interested in is the average. Remember, the first day's class where I gave you a data set. The first thing that I did was to take an average and then standard deviation and then went to skewness and kurtosis. Okay, most of econometrics or most of the analysis that is done, we are interested in the mean and the variance. In statistical parlance, these are called the first two moments, and the skewness and kurtosis are the third and fourth moment. To be exact, they're centralized moments. Okay, now this is exactly what the first thing that you are interested in, the average value or the expected value, to give an idea of where we expect X to be without trying to describe the entire distribution. Let me ask you a simple question. Suppose somebody gives you a sequence of 5 numbers. And what do you think would be the most likely 6th value? Hello?
So the
Mean value.
expectation.
Suppose you are given 5 numbers. What do you think will be the most likely 6th value? Your immediate answer would be the average, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is exactly, that's why you are interested in the average expected value. Okay, now this is, I don't know why this is a huge jump. I have a random variable X. Okay, now I'm interested in the average value, the expected value. But before that, without proving, we should see another fact, which is the usual thing that we'll be facing. What is that? Okay, X is a random variable, but I'm interested in a function of X, which is Y. Y is equal to a function of X. Then this is the mean summation Y, YGY is equal to, this is the PMF of Y is nothing but the PM of UX into FX. This is the PMF is something we have seen before. So PMF of, which is GY, is equal to the PMF of UX FX. Okay, so this observation leads to a more general definition of the mathematical expectation of a random function of X, which is given below next. What is it? If Fx is the PM of a random variable X of the discrete type with space S, and if the summation X in S, UX Fx, which is sometimes written as just UX Fx over S exists, then this sum is called the mathematical expectation or the expected value of UX and is denoted expected value of EUX. Universally, this E is reserved for expectation unless stated otherwise. How do we calculate this? It's calculated with this example. The UX is calculated just a sum. Okay, now in econometrics, this is not explained at all. Okay, in statistics books, this is explained differently, which is very interesting. Okay, can somebody tell me why I'm going to call it a weighted mean?
So because we are multiplying.
Sir,
it
because
with
you're
the
multiplying with
frequency.
the probability, which is the relative frequency of
You are taking the frequency
value
of
of X.
observations.
What are the weights here? What are the weights here?
Probabilities of that X occurring.
Fx.
Okay, Fx,
PMF.
Fx is the weights here, Ux is the observation. Okay, so that's what I'm going to tell you. We can think of expected value as a weighted mean of Ux, X belong to X in S, where the weights are nothing but the probability is Fx, that probability random variable X will take the value small x against small x in the sample space is. What is the intuitive idea? The intuitive idea here then is nothing but the mean of a random variable is nothing but a weighted average of the possible values of the random variable with weights equal to the probabilities. All of you from your college thing, you know all the weights should sum up to 1 and the probabilities will sum up to 1. Okay. So this is satisfied. This is an interesting statement, but which I have found only in statistics book, never ever in any econometrics book. So this is mean of random variable is nothing but a weighted average. Okay. Example. Take this example down. I'm going to ask you some interesting questions. Suppose you are organizing a game of casting a fair die because you want to make some money. You need money, so you are going to organize a game of casting a fair die. And any participant receives a payment according to the following rule. Somebody plays the game, and he receives payment according to the following rule. What is it? If 1, 2, 3 occurs, he receives 1 rupee. 4, 5 occurs, he receives 2. And if C occurs, he receives 3. Suppose capital X is a random variable that represents the payoff. The PMF of X is given by the following. Is it clear? It's very simple. PMF, I have written as a general formula. Suppose I ask you this question. The game is repeated a large number of times. The game is repeated large number of times. Payment of 1 rupee would occur how many times?
50%.
3, yeah.
3 times.
No, 3 by 6 of the times, right? 2 rupees about 2/6 of the times, and 3 rupees about 1/6 of the times. Okay, now what would be, now the question is, suppose somebody comes and plays this game, you will be paying him. What will be the average payment that you would have to make? What would be the average payment that you would have to make? Somebody comes and plays this game.
5 by 3.
5 by 3.
10 by 6.
5 by 3.
Yeah, 5 by
So, okay, so on an average, okay, somebody comes and plays, you would have to pay on an average 5 by 3. So this is what is called the mathematical expectation of the payment. Okay, mathematical expectation of the payment. Now, next question. Remember, the idea is to make money. So suppose you charge 2 rupees from everyone who comes and plays the game. You are charging 2 rupees. Remember, on an average, you would have to pay 5 by 3 of your rupee to each and every participant. You charge 2 rupees from every participant to play the game, and the mathematical expectation of this, you will earn on an average 1/3 of a rupee on each play. If you decide to charge 2 rupees to play the game from each and every participant, you will earn on an average 1/3 of a rupee every time somebody has played this. On the average is double. Okay, how can we write it? We can write it as mu equal to Ex. X is equal to 1 by 3 summation X EF. That's what we have got it as 5 by 3. Now, which is called the mean of X or of its distribution. Okay, this is again never established in any economic textbook. This is the mean of X. This is also the mean of X or of its distribution. This also you have to keep in mind. Now, suppose I'm going to take this example. The random variable X is a discrete variable. I am now defining a function y is equal to ux. Okay. Now, suppose continuing with the same example, we are interested in another function of x. Say y is equal to ux, where y is a random variable and has a PMF. Y equal to x square now. What is the PMF of y? Gy equal to 4 minus root of y by 6. Y equal to 149. Do you understand now the support of y?
Sir, so y can take the values 149 because x can take the values 1, 2, 3.
Remember, we have defined y equal to x square. What was
Yeah.
x? X was 1, 2, 3. Just
1, 2,
square
3.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 4, 9.
Yeah.
So now this is the PMF of X. So for X is equal to Y is equal to X square, X is equal to root of Y. Am I right?
Yeah.
Now the rest is the same thing. A G1 equal to 3 by 6, G4 is equal to 2 by 6, G9 equal to 1 by 6. There it was G1, 2, 3, now G1, 4, 9. Moreover, if Sy is a space of Y, the mean is mu Y is equal to 1 to 3 by 6, 10 by 3. Okay. Now this follows otherwise the same way. The moment you have this is what you have to be very careful about. This is very simple example. When we come to continuous random variable, defining the sample space, it becomes very tricky. Okay, so we will see some very difficult problems also. The discrete random variable is much simpler. Converting the sample space from y is equal to x square and discrete this continuous random variable, this becomes difficult. So this is quite simple now. So we can generalize the example and say that for any general function ux, y is equal to ux, and this is the formula. Okay. Try this example.
Sir, expectation of x square is 2 by 3.
Okay.
Probability of y equal to 0 is 1 by 3. Probability x is equal to 0 is 1 by 3. Probability y equal to 1 is 2 by 3 and probability x is equal to 1 is 1 by 3.
Probability of y equal to 1. Okay,
Is 2 by 3.
Is 2 by 3 because probability of y equal to
Yes.
1 will be probability of x equal to 1 plus
Yes,
probability
sir,
of
I
x is
got
equal
2
to
by 3.
minus 1 because of x square, isn't it? Now,
Yes,
what will be
sir.
the sample space of y?
0 and 1.
0 and
Huh?
0 and 1.
Okay.
0 and 1.
Okay. 0 and 1. Okay. What will be then PMF of y?
Y equals to 1 with probability 2 by 3 and 0 with probability 1 by 3.
1 by 3. Okay. What will be the mean? Mean of y?
2 by 3.
2 by 3.
So 2 by
2 by
3.
2 by 3.
Okay. Now this is exactly the solution. Okay, the mean of a, which again illustrates the preceding observation. So these are all simple sums. Try practice such simple sums only. We'll see also examples of this thing. And now let's take a slightly different example, slightly difficult example. The experiment has probability of success P, where of course P is between 0 and 1, and probability of failure is Q is equal to 1 minus P. This experiment is repeated independently until the first success occurs. Say this happens on the Xth trial. What will be the space? It can happen after first, it can happen after 2. So it's not countable. So it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Infinite. So what is P of x is equal to x where x is in Sx? So what does it say? We must observe x minus 1 failures for a success to happen. Okay, now I have seen this is independently. So due to independence, the probability is that we'll have a success equal to at the xth trial will be x minus 1 q's into p. This will be the success. Q minus 1 into p, x is in Sx. Since Q and P and Q are positive, this is a PMF because this is equal to 1. Remember, this is the condition for a PMF. So that is satisfied. Okay, the mean of this geometric distribution, this is actually a geometric distribution. The mean of this geometric distribution is this geometric distribution is this. So go through it. This is simple algebra only. I don't know whether I've heard of this suddenly. So this shows that mean of a geometric distribution is just simply 1 by p. This is how to show it if you want to show. So for illustration, if p is equal to 1 by 10, you would expect mu to 10 trials are needed on the average to observe a success. Okay, so these are some of the examples that I wanted to show you of mathematical expectation. Continuous random variable we will see in much more detail, because in practice that's what we will be coming across quite often. Okay, now let us ask some questions. Let us ask some questions by explaining a more general definition of a mean of a random variable, which I'm going to call it mean of a general discrete random variable. Okay. Do you think that mean always exists?
No, sir.
Can you think of PMFs when mean will not exist? That's the first question. Second question. Suppose the mean is infinite. What do you think? The mean exists or doesn't exist? This is a mistake that many people do.
Sir, Cauchy distribution has no mean. There is this distribution called Cauchy distribution which has no mean.
Okay, no. Who is it? Who is this?
Sir, Drishan.
Okay, I sort of guessed it. Okay, I have a discussion on Cauchy distribution later on when I come to variance. I'll come there. No, actually, mean is equal to variance. Cauchy distribution does not have a variance. Are you right? Variance equal to mean. It does have a mean. I'm talking of. Wait a minute. I'm going to sort of correct some of the wrong statements that people generally make. Mean does not exist means difference. Mean exists, but it is infinite. Okay, mean exists, but it is infinite. Mean equal to 0. Mean exists, but it is 0. Okay, vanishes does not mean doesn't exist. So these are all some terminology that you should be very careful about. So this all explained very well in basic statistics books. Okay, now let's see mean of a general discrete random variable. Let x be a discrete random variable whose PMF is f. Suppose that at least one of the following sums is finite. Suppose at least one of the following sums is finite. Defined over all positive x, defined over all negative x. Remember, if at least one of the following sums is finite, then the mean or expected value of x is said to be exist, and it is defined to be this, all x this. If both sums are infinite, then and only then you say ex does not exist because the sum is not well defined. The sum is not well defined. Why? We'll see after this example. Okay. Can you all recall harmonic series?
Yes, sir.
Okay, some sort of harmonic series. What I'm going to say is not strictly a harmonic series because first term will be missing. Consider this. Why the sum does not exist? Okay, why the sum does not exist? Okay, this is also what can you say about the sum of an infinite series? In calculus, people also say the sum of an infinite series whose positive and negative terms both add to the infinity and either fails to converge or can be made to converge to many different values by rearranging terms in different orders. But the problem is we do not want various values. We do not want the mean to depend on the order in which we are going to add the numbers. Okay, we want only one mean. Okay, one particular choice of mean. And if we don't want the meaning of the expected value to depend on arbitrary choices about the way we are going to add the numbers. If only one of the two sums is infinite, then the expected value is also infinite with the same sign as that of the sum that is infinite. This is the reason. OK, so why we don't consider we say the mean does not exist if defined over negative and positive values is infinite. Consider this example. The mean of x does not exist. Let x be a random variable whose PDF. Oh, that should be PMF. Whose PMF is this? It can be verified that this function satisfies the conditions required to be a PDF. Can you show how? Take it. Verify that this is again PMF, a PDF, a PMF. Satisfies the conditions required to be a PMF. OK, the two sums mentioned above are, that is, on the negative side and on the positive side. EX does not exist. Take on the positive side. Can you see? Is it OK?
So I have one question, sir. In the negative part, sir, the series is divergent because it is a harmonic series. So, sir, how can we write it is minus infinity in that case? It is the series is like we can't find, like how can we find the sum in that case, sir? I can't understand.
We cannot find it. It is diverging to infinity. That's the only thing we can say. It is diverging. You are right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, diverging to minus infinity. We can always say that. Why?
Yes, sir.
It's not converging to any point at all, any number. Why only negative? What about the positive side? If you remember, that positive side is harmonic. It's actually a harmonic series without the first number, without the first term, first fraction.
Yes, sir.
OK, so EX does not exist. Now consider the situation where mean is only infinite. I'm not going to say the mean does not exist. Look at this. An infinite mean. Let x be a random variable whose PDF is this. The sum over negative values in the above two sums is 0 because we have specifically said so. The mean exists but it is infinite. This is the difference that you have to be careful. OK. OK, this is about the mean. OK, average and all those stuff. But does average can be many times misleading. You must have definitely heard of the professor who tried to cross the river based on calculating the average depth. And you know what happened to that professor? OK, so average is a very handy statistical measure, but that's not all. Many times we are not interested in mean alone or average alone. We are interested in the next thing, how the spread of the data. We are interested in spread of the data, which leads about to, OK, oh, this is also important. Some useful facts about mathematical expectation. This is many times students have problems about this. What is it now? See the first line. If C is a constant, then E is equal to C. Expectation of a constant is equal to a constant. Okay. Now this is where many variance of a constant, they say K square or C square. My God, variance of a constant is 0. We shall see later. Okay, this is another common area of mistake. Why? That in the intercept term when we discuss regression. If C is a constant function, and U is a function, then E C Ux equal to C comes out of the expectation. This is going to be very useful when we are going to analyze later in econometrics the bias and other small sample finite sample properties and asymptotic properties in economics. Wherever you go, always keep it in mind. Suppose you have a string of expectation of A, B, C, and you know A is finite and A is known and is finite. It's a constant. Expectation of A, B, C is nothing but A into expectation of B, C, where B and C could be random variables. Never write EBC into EB into EC. So this can be written only under one condition, that these two are independent. Okay. Never write expected value of XY is equal to EX into EY. Okay. So take the constant out. Okay. The third point. This can also be easily proved. I'll leave the proof to you. If C1 and C2 are constants and U and U2 are functions, then expected value of this plus expected value of this is called the linear distributive operator. Okay, expectations are linear. What do I mean by that? Putting it simply, expectation of A plus B is nothing but EA plus EB, not A product addition. Similarly, expectation of A minus B is equal to EA minus EB. So whatever constant is there within the function, you just take it out. Remember this. Okay. Recall that we called mu is equal to Ex the mean of the random or of its distribution. In general, suppose the random variable X has the space at these points of respective probabilities of a derivative where mu I is the distance of the ith point from the origin. I'm slowly going to describe where I'm going. We are slowly going to another important concept in statistics. If you want to specialize in econometrics, your area of field in econometrics, this is one thing that you should know very well. Leading to what is called the moment generating function, okay, which is of use tremendously in finance and in a particular method of estimation is called the generalized method of moment estimation, GMM. Okay, let's wait there. Okay, now this is nothing but UI is the distance of the ith point from the origin. Now suppose you borrow an analogy from mechanics. The product of distance and its weight, it seems, is called a moment. This I didn't know. Only after going to statistics book I knew why it's called a moment. This is from mechanics. The product of a distance and its weight is called a moment. And mu is called the first moment about the origin. If we calculate the first moment about the mean, then it will be 0. That is the first moment. To be specific, first centralized moment, because we are going to calculate about the mean, then it will be 0. Okay, so mu is called the first moment and hence the name. Why we got moment? We are interested in, statisticians always find it valuable to calculate the second moment about the mean, mu. The second moment about the mean is the distances raised to the second power and is equal to expected value of x minus mu whole square. That is, this is the formula, u1 minus u2 minus u whole square into this. This weighted mean, again see the definition, this weighted mean of the squares of those distances is called the variance of the random variable. These kinds of definition you do not see in econometrics book. These are all from basic statistics book. The weighted mean variance is nothing but the weighted mean of the squares of those distances, okay, which is called the variance of the random variable x. And this is universal. Variance is denoted sigma square and is also denoted var x. So if sigma square is equal to expected value of x minus mu whole square is equal to var x, the positive square root of the variance is called the standard deviation and is normally denoted by the letter sigma. Okay. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . The standard deviation is a measure of dispersion or spread of the points belonging to the space. It's worth noting that this is a useful decomposition which is heavily used again in financial econometrics. Okay, even while proving simple econometric results. What is that? Sigma square, the variance of x is nothing but ex square minus expectation of x whole square. Ex square minus ex whole square. That's what I've written as mu square. Var x is equal to ex square, my expectation of x square minus expectation of x whole square. Okay, so this is what it tells you. So always keep it in mind. You can write it. We'll be using it many times. Okay. Now consider an example in which x is in 1, 2, 3. The PMF is given by f1 is equal to 3 by 6, 2 by 6, and 1 by 6. That means that the probability that the random variable x equals 1, denoted by p of x is equal to 1, is f1 equal to 3 by 6. Similarly, the rest of the case. So then it must be the case that the probability is equal 1, which is the case. We can think of the points 1, 2, 3 as having weights or probabilities 3 by 6, 2 by 6, 1 by 6. And the weighted mean is nothing but 5 by 3. This is what I've been telling all the time. Remember, which does not equal any one of the values in S. This is also important. This does not fall in the sample space, outcome space. And the variance equals sigma square. This is the formula. Go through it, please. I have used the alternate method also. Var x is equal to expectation of x square minus ex whole square. Is it okay? Hello?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Can you proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, now the way we define a function in X, let's again extend the same concept. Let X be a random variable with the mean mu X and variance sigma square X. If y equal to ax plus b, when a and b are constants, then y is also a random variable. So if you take the expectation, okay, then if y is equal to, if the expectation of x is equal to mu, expectation of y is nothing but a mu plus b. So that will be the expectation. The mean of y is equal to then now, see, a mu x plus b. That's okay, it's there in the next semester, next line. Okay, this is exactly the mean of y. What will be the variance of y? A square sigma square x. So what will be the standard deviation? Mod A to sigma x. The positive thing. We shall illustrate this with the following example. Find this, try this. Or the system is too small.
Sir, are all of them 0?
What is that? The mu will be? Mu will be 0. Okay, what will be the variance?
That's also 0.
2 by 3 and 8 by 3.
2 by 3 and 8, yeah.
2
Yeah,
by
yeah.
3.
2
Look
by
at
3 and 8 by 3. Yes, sir. 2 by 3 8 by
Is
3.
it fine? Is it fine? Very simple. This is the now suppose you have defined another variable gy equal to 1 by 3, y equal to -2, 0, 2. Quickly, what is this function? Y is equal to
2x.
2x.
2x. Now find the mean of y and their variances in the standard deviation and see the connection.
So mean is 0 and variance is 8 by 3.
Mean of y is also 0, the variance, but easily seen to be 8 by 3. So the standard deviation is equal to 2 into root of 2 by 3. Am I right? Now you see the standard deviation is twice that of the standard deviation of x, reflecting the fact that y equal to 2x. Okay. Now let me ask a general question. Suppose x is a random variable. Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Suppose x is a random variable. I add or subtract a constant from that random variable. Will the variance be the same or different?
Same.
Same.
It will remain the same.
Same.
It will be
It will
Same,
remain the same.
sir.
Same.
the mean, but the mean
It will be
Will be
Will be
different.
it will be different. Okay, so that this simple, you won't believe this simple idea, subtracting or deleting or adding a constant from random variable x will change the variance, will not change the variance, but only the mean. You know how effectively this is used in option pricing. You must have definitely heard of this option pricing. Have you all? Option pricing
Yes,
and
sir.
financial econometrics. This is heavily, this simple concepts are used in the binomial tree while we're discussing the binomial tree of option pricing, how to explain or fix option prices using the binomial tree. You will not believe simple statistical concepts are used. So I'm saying again and again, keep everything in mind. Okay, that the decomposition of the variance. Similarly, there when we are going to take covariance, there is another decomposition that is used. Okay, heavily. The next that I am going to say, we are going to see, very next I'm going to see the moment generating function. Very important, and we'll see a lot of examples, and the distribution that I'm going to see later on, normal distribution, t distribution, chi-square distribution, all the distribution, MGF will be there. We will see all combination. We'll see the examples. You will solve the examples so that you'll get used to it. OK, so this is exactly what. OK, now see, for example, var x minus 1 is equal to var s because a is equal to b minus. Also note that var minus 6 is also equal to var x because here is equal to -1 and b is equal to 0. OK, now I'm going to explain this. Suppose r is a positive integer. This is a general definition. Expected value of x is equal to this x power r fx. When r is equal to 1, we got the mean of the random variable. When 2, this is at the second moment of this. Okay, this is called the rth moment of the distribution about the origin. This is sometimes called the raw moment. Some authors called it the raw moment, probably to distinguish it from the moment about some other value or about the mean. That it comes explained. So in addition to the above explanation, the expectation ex minus b x minus br is called the rth moment of the distribution about b. Okay, see the difference. This is called the raw moment. This is the rth moment about b, where b could be any constant. Okay. Now, next question is, if this b happens to be mu, if this mean happens to be mu, then we define it about the mean mu, then the moments are called central moments because we are going to subtract this. We are got centered around the mean. If this B is replaced by mean mu, this is centered around the mean, and this is what's called central moments, not the rth moment. For every positive integer r, the expected of x minus mu power r is called the rth central moment, differentiated from the raw moment. Rth central moment of x or rth central moment of x about the mean. This is unnecessary. Central moment mean is unnecessary. I don't know why I wrote this. Normally it means central moment of x. Okay, some authors may complain, why should it be about the mean? It could be like any number b. Okay, so if you want to emphasize it, you can add the central. I don't think it is necessary. So for every distribution, then the first central moment must be 0. Why? Because Ex minus mu is a linear operator. Expectation is a linear operator. So mu minus mu equal to 0. The second central moment invariably happens to be the variance. Okay. What will be the third and the fourth central moment?
Kurtosis and skewness.
Skewness, kurtosis. Okay, the third and fourth central moments are skewness and the kurtosis. Okay, look at this. For a given positive integer r, okay, oh, this is something different. It's called rth factorial moment. I'm not going to use this. We don't use it to the best of my knowledge anywhere in econometrics, but as a general knowledge, you can say for knowledge sake, you can learn it. This is called rth factorial. We know that the second factorial moment is equal to the difference of the second and the first factorial moment, first moment about 0. So this is exactly what is this on the right hand side? This is nothing but, oh no, this is nothing but, no, this is not the variance. Okay. So we now define a function that will help us generate the moments of a distribution. This is a very, very important concept. Generating function. What do you understand by a generating function?
Sir, it is a function upon which if we do certain operations, we can get outcomes of like say moments or probability or something along those lines.
Yeah, I see. For example, we are going to see later on. Suppose mean you take expectation, variance you take expectation, skewness again, kurtosis again. Instead of doing everything separately, is there a formula from where I just substitute certain things? I get the mean, I get the variance, I get the skewness and kurtosis and the higher order moments. So that this is a function that is going to generate it for you. So that's called the moment generating function. Is called abbreviated as MGF. Okay, the generating characteristic is very important. There is a uniqueness property that is even more important. Okay, there is another function, related function, which is called the characteristic function. But I won't teach you characteristic function because characteristic function brings in the Fourier thing also. I don't know how many of you are aware of the Fourier expansion or Fourier series. So that's also very, very important, but that is probably a subject of a stat major class. This is not a stat major class, but I would urge you to go and learn more about characteristic function. Okay, there is an advantage in knowing characteristic function. I'll tell you later. Okay, now right now it is moment generating function or MGF. What is it now? Let x be a random variable of the discrete type with PM of fx and space s. If there is a positive number h such that expected value of e power tx is equal to summation x in s, e power tx is equal to fx. Fx is the PM of etx pre-multiplied by etx, multiplied by etx. This is not a matrix, so I don't have to say pre-multiplied. This is multiplied by etx. Exists if there is a positive number h such that this exists and is finite for t between minus h and plus h, then the function defined by mt equal to e power tx is called the moment generating function of x. So simply mt is nothing but summation x in s e power tx fx. Okay, this is it. Moment generating function. Please take this down. Take these two formula down because you are going to need it later on. This function is abbreviated as MGF. What is the advantage? The moment generating function of a discrete random variable uniquely determines the distribution of the random variable. In other words, if the MGF exists, there is one and only distribution of probability associated with the MGF. I'm going to see an example later on.
Sir, what is T in this?
What is?
What is T?
T, take it as a number. That's it. Between minus h and h, where h is a positive number. So that makes T also as a number.
Hello. Sir, I have a small doubt. Hello.
Out with music. Okay. Okay, yeah, sure. Who is this? Hello? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes,
But
sir.
where is this person who asked me a doubt?
Sir, hello, I am here.
Yeah, tell me, what is it? No,
Sir,
I was just
here-
joking because there's a background music also. That was good. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Sir, here we take x, the random variable of the discrete type, and what if x become the continuous? Is there any change in the formula?
Of course, definitely. You tell me how the formula will change.
Summation sign is replaced by the integration and
Okay,
but
integral ETX fx and there will be a dx there. Remember?
Yes, there is dx there.
Yeah, that's why. Don't worry. I will bug you with this MGF or continuous variable. That is a bit more difficult. I'll give you a lot of examples and I also ask you a lot of questions. At least you will not be afraid of MGF after this econometrics one, because I hear that MGF is used, moment generating function, characteristic function. I've heard from micro 2 people it is used there, but I don't know where it is used, micro 2. Moment generating function, characteristic function. Don't worry, you'll have at least some reasonable knowledge about this when you go there. Okay, now in other words, MGF exists, there is only distribution of probability associated with that MGF. Okay. First, it is evident that.
Sir?
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Sir, I wanted to ask that this moment generating function that you have defined, it is around the origin.
What is it? Come again, please.
Sir, the moment generating function that you have defined.
Yeah.
Sir, it is about origin.
No, moment generating function is, it depends. Now, I have not defined moment generating function is normally defined not about the origin, about the mean.
Okay. So we are talking about central moments.
We are talking about central moments, yeah.
Okay. And so when we are talking about moments around a certain point, then
that will not be central moment. That is what I say. This is the difference now. Rth moment of the distribution about B. Okay, if this B happens to be mu, then it is central moment.
Yes, sir. And the function we have defined, it is for the central moment.
Yes. Okay,
Okay, sir. If I'm asking, like, if we defined about any other point, so what will be the manipulation in this function?
Manipulation will have to we have to adjust the formula. Probably that is exactly why it is. Any other number does exactly formula. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Yeah,
there is
what
also
is
a
it?
conversion relation about central and raw moments and that, right? If
No,
we are,
no, 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 no. They need not converge. They need not converge.
no, sir, there is a conversion relation between raw moments, central moments. So the what Yashika asked, if we are getting central moments, so we can do those manipulations to get raw moments, equivalent raw moments, or like about certain B.
There should be a relation because when you subtract something, I do not have an answer right now. That there must be a relation because to me it looks like the scaled up operations only. I mean, isn't it? When you subtract something or add something, when you subtract something, it is only there must be a difference of scale coefficient, scale only.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, now go through this now. First, it is evident that if we set t equal to 0, we have m0 is equal to 1. If the space of S is equal to B1, B2 is again, then the MGF is given by the expansion ETB1, FB1, ETB2, FB2. So the coefficient of ETBI is the probability that X will take the value B at. Okay. If the two random variables X and Y had the PM of f of X and gy, now this is exactly the reason why I'm telling you this particular property that, what is that? Sorry, what is it? Sorry. Where did it go? This particular property that if the MGF exists, then there is one and only distribution of probability associated with that MGF. Look at this property. Look at this. There are two random variables X and Y had the PM of f of X and gy, but the thing is they are defined on the same space. S is equal to B1 and B2. Take the next one. And if ETB1 FB1 equal to ETB1 GB1 other things for all t between minus h and plus h, then mathematical transform theory requires that FBI equal to FGBI. Okay, if these two are equal, what can you say about the coefficients?
The coefficients are equal.
You know, in simple, suppose this is an identity. If an identity, the coefficients on both sides must be the same, isn't it? So that is a simple idea that is being followed here. So the mathematical transform theory requires that FBI is equal to GBI. So this implies that if MGF exists, but most importantly, it is defined over the same sample space is equal to B1, B2, and it's B1, B2 that goes on like that. There's one and only one distribution of probability associated with this moment generating function. That is either FBI or GBI. Okay, so this will be very handy later on. Look at this. If X has the MGF ET3 by 6, E2T3 by 6, E3T1 by 6, T is between minus infinity to plus infinity. Then the support of X is equal to 1, 2, 3. And the associated probabilities are P equal to X1 equal to 3 by 6, X by 2 equal to 2 by 6, and X3 equal to 1 by 6. Where do I get this support from?
Coefficient of T.
The equation of the moments.
E1T, E2T,
Yeah.
E3T.
Coefficient of T.
So that gives you the space, and 3 by 6 are nothing but the probabilities. So we can write the PMF. You can write the PMF of X equal to 4 minus X by 6. This example we had seen before. Now C comes from 1, 2, 3. Let me see whether you do this. This would be a bit difficult. Okay, let me see. This is a difficult example. Look at this. Suppose the MGF of x equal to et by 2, 1 minus et by 2. I need this condition. Et by 2 is less than 1 or t is equal to less than log 2. To obtain the coefficients of E, B, I, T, we have to expand AMT first. How do we expand them first? 1 minus Z inverse. What is this? What is this series?
Geometric series.
Yeah, it's very important. Again, it's very useful in time series. You will come across this in time series analysis. 1 minus B inverse is this. 1 minus pi B inverse is this, and all those stuff. So geometric series, I need the condition 1 minus pi B inverse pi mod pi should be less than 1. That's what we see it in time series. Here I put as minus 1 less than Z less than 1. It's nothing but mod Z less than 1. So that we have ET by 2, 1 minus ET by 2 inverse. This is simple mathematical manipulation. Then ET by 2 is less than 1. Okay, next question. What will be Px of x? Px equal to x. What is the probability that x equal to x? We have the result in
Half
front
to
of
the
you.
power x.
Half to the
Half
power
to the
x.
power x.
X 1 by 2 power x. Okay, or equivalent to where x is a positive integer, or equivalently the PMF of x is nothing but fx equal to 1 by 2 power x. When x is equal to 1, 2, 3, it goes on. Okay. Now, this is it. Now, so where x is a positive integer, equivalently the PMF of x is equal to 1 by 2 power x is equal to 1 by 2. Look at this. It can also be shown that the existence of moment for t between minus h and h implies that the derivatives of mt of all orders exist even at t equal to 0, or around an open interval around t is equal to 0. Hence, mt is continuous even at t equal to 0. This is a tricky thing. I don't know it's technically how to maybe to prove it, but please take it from me that it exists at even t equal to 0. It should continuous. Moreover, it is permissible to interchange differentiation and summation as a series converges uniformly. This is something interchanging differentiation and summation is something we'll be using very frequently. People use very frequently. They say assume that this is interchange, but you have to check whether the series converges uniformly. It's only probably there are some conditions under which only you can interchange the differentiation summation and differentiating integral and summation. And all those things will be there later on. Okay, so now look at this. Okay, now what will be m prime t? That is first derivative. That x is equal to e t power x. Is it okay? I'm saying that what is m prime t? First derivative of mt? Hello?
Yes, sir.
First derivative and the second derivative of mt with respect to t?
Yes, sir.
What is it? M
Sir,
prime t equal to?
Sir,
summation
x.
x into e to the power tx fx.
The second derivative?
X squared times e to the power tx fx.
Okay, for each positive integer r, we can write m power r t. No, I don't know, it's not power m within bracket r t equal to summation x is equal to x in s x power r e tx fx. This is an advantage of the exponential function. Okay, so what is m prime 0 then?
Mean.
M prime 0 is
one.
nothing but the
Sir, one.
nothing but the, sorry?
Sir, one
One.
only
M,
because
mean M prime 0 is nothing but expected value of X, and M double prime 0.
Variance.
No, it's just
Ex
expectation
square.
of X square. No, no.
Ex square.
Ex square, that's it. Ex
Yeah.
square.
Second raw moment.
Yeah, second raw moment, you can say that. Yes, Ex square. Okay. So in general, M within bracket M to superscript R 0 around 0 is nothing but the rth moment, as somebody correctly put it. It's nothing but the rth moment, okay, of X. Okay. So in particular, if the moment generating function exists, then this is the area. This is look at this. So in general, this is the formula. In general, if mgf exists, then m prime 0 equal to ex equal to mu, and m double prime 0 in m prime 0 whole square is nothing but ex square minus x whole square, which is nothing but the variance. I don't know, somebody asked me about the relation between rth moment and the central moment. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you get it?
Yes, sir. It is clear, sir, now. I got it.
Okay. Okay. The preceding argument shows that we can find the moments of X by differentiating the moment generating function. Okay. In using this technique, it must be emphasized that we first evaluate. Oh, okay. What should you do first? In using this technique, this is very important. I suggest you practice a lot of questions. What is it? Suppose you have been given a moment generating function. How do you find the moments of X? You have to first differentiate MT. But before differentiating MT, you must think that we first evaluate the summation. Whatever summation, just expand it and keep it ready to obtain a closed form solution. And then we differentiate that solution to obtain the moments of X. Okay. Is it okay? Now let's see an example.
Sir,
Let's see. Yeah.
sir, what is closed form solution?
Closed form solution. Okay. What is a plus b whole square?
Sir, a square plus 2ab plus b. So,
Closed form solution. What is closed form solution? Closed form solution is like a formula.
Okay.
Okay. This is a formula. You want to solve for X and you'll get a formula. That's a closed form solution. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And if I cannot, it's an open-ended. I don't know why this closed form solution, I have used it, many people have problems. Closed form solution, the exact definition, I want to solve an unknown X, I'll get a formula on the right hand side. That's it. It's going to solve and give me the formula value of X. So that's called the closed form solution. If it exists, if it doesn't exist, solution does not exist. It is open. Okay, so that's why it's called a closed form solution. Then we differentiate that solution to obtain the moment of X. Be very careful. Now you do one thing. Suppose X is the, you can write it now. Suppose X is the geometric distribution. X is a random variable and it is a geometric distribution. Okay. The PMF of X is nothing but, that is f of X is equal to Q power X minus 1 into P. Q power X minus 1 into P, X equal to 1, 2, 3 and goes on. Finally, this is called a geometric distribution. Write the MGF of X. The answer is coming, but you try.
Sir, please repeat the question again.
What is the MGF of X? Do you want to try or should I show?
Sir, we want to try.
Okay, MT equal to expected value of e power tx is equal to, always keep this formula in mind. Keep this formula in mind. Keep this formula in mind. You have etx, you have to substitute fx into q power x minus 1 into p. That's it.
Sir, is it p into e to the power t by 1 minus e to the power t into q?
Wait a minute. You just see this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
So to
Yes,
take
sir.
p by q out, p by q out is going to be common. So x is equal to 1 to infinity q into e t power x. Can we write like this? Rest is simple algebra. Rest is simple algebra. Please go through it. The inside one is nothing but a geometric series which comes into the denominator. The terms within the square bracket. Next question. What do you do to find the mean and the variance? This is what exactly I told you. Before you want to find the mean and the variance, you make sure the expansion is ready for you to differentiate. Now expansion is ready for you to differentiate. What is mt is equal to PET 1 minus QET. Okay. Now what will be m prime t and m double prime t? Differentiate mt twice. Should I show or you are going to try?
Sir, is it PET upon 1 minus QET to the power whole square?
Yes, sir, that's what's coming.
Do you see?
Yeah.
Okay, in one of the examples before, we had shown that mu equal to 1 by p. That was also a geometric distribution. Remember qx minus 1 p. Remember this example? Experiment of a probability of success or failure. This experiment is repeated independently until the first success occurs. So that follows a geometric distribution, where there we had proved that mu equal to 1 by p. Okay, now this is also a geometric distribution. M0 is equal to 1, M1 is equal to 1. You see 1 minus q is equal to p, m prime 0 is equal to mu. So m double prime 0 is equal to 1 plus q by p square. So what is the variance? Variance is nothing but q by p square. It exactly is. Oh boy, 11:15. Okay, I have Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
I have the next also properties of MGF. I think it's already 11:16, 11:20. I think so. You have another class, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We have a
sir.
class at 11:30.
I'm extremely sorry. I don't know it is my problem or the computer problem. I have no idea. They're giving me a new computer. Still, it's not working. Okay. See again, bad network quality. I have no idea. Our network speed is very good. I have a suggestion to all, at least to some of you. Okay. What is that? Next class, that is Wednesday's class. Can some of you, at least a few of you, can be here at 9:15 itself so that I get everything correct? Is it okay? Is it okay for you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
At least a few, not all. Some of you please be there at 9:15 so that everything works here. If it doesn't work, I'll ask these fellows to come and do something. Can you be there at 9:15 next class? Some of you at least?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll stop the class now. We'll continue in the next class. Next class will be I'm going to highlight some of the properties of MGF and then go to a binomial distribution. Enough of random variables. We'll go to distribution, binomial distribution, and the Poisson distribution, other distribution, and from there we'll go to the continuous random variable and continuous distribution. This is how it goes. Okay. Okay, thank you once again. Sorry, we'll meet at 4 Wednesday's usual time. Please be there at 9:15. Some of you. Okay, well, I'll send the PPTs immediately.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
चलिए